Well, it definitely looks a lot nicer behind her down there in D.C. than it does up here in New England. We're stuck under the cloud cover. However, temperatures did manage to make it to about 70 this afternoon, or at least very close to it. We're starting to see temperatures slip a little bit. We're back to the mid 60s as we take a look out from our Agawam sky cam. Still pretty cloudy, though there were some breaks of blue sky earlier in the day. Now, we are tracking our next round of rain that'll be coming in out of the west later on this evening from roughly 8 p.m. through about midnight. We'll have the chance for showers and even a thunderstorm. Now, the thunderstorm outlook for western Mass is just for a general thunderstorm risk, meaning it would be on the weaker side. A few rumbles of thunder, a little bit of lightning, maybe a downpour or two, but any severe threat remains off to our west. Now, as we take a look at the current situation, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in northeastern Pennsylvania, and they are under that lower end risk. The storm should weaken as they continue moving east and into the area, but they certainly have some heavy rain. In fact, just north and east of Binghamton, they're producing some flash flooding. Not necessarily a concern for us, but we could certainly get a good soaking as some of these showers come through. Taking a look at year 24, temperatures dropping as the wet weather moves in, which again should be roughly around 8 p.m. or so, maybe a little sooner if this thing speeds up. We'll have the chance for a downpour or two through midnight, and then showers will taper off. We'll keep clouds and maybe some fog through tomorrow morning with temperatures either side of 50 degrees. Then as we continue throughout the day Wednesday, it's going to look a lot like today did. I think we'll have mostly cloudy skies. They might brighten up a little bit in the afternoon. Temperatures should rebound, climbing back into the middle and upper 60s, possibly even a few spots getting back to 70 degrees. There's a low chance for a pop-up shower toward the end of the day and tomorrow night, but it's hit or miss. Now, this model not really indicating any thunderstorm activity, so rainfall amounts look light. But of course, if any storms can hold together, isolated higher amounts are certainly possible. Now, as far as the temperature swing for tomorrow, the cloud cover, just like today, not really impacting us. We still have this ridge of high pressure overhead, which is helping keep the warmth around. Breezes will be on the light side and then shifting more to the south as we go into Thursday. That's going to usher in some warmer temperatures. Plus, I think we'll see a little bit more sunshine. Then on Friday, a little front comes through. Wind will shift back to the northeast, and that will usher in some cooler air. So the roller coaster continues this week. Then our next chance for rain comes for this upcoming weekend. Now, it's a tough call. It's still a very shaky forecast. What I can tell you for sure, mostly cloudy Saturday, mostly cloudy Sunday. Temperatures will be cooler. Highs look to be back into the 60s. But as far as the wet weather goes, there's the chance for a couple of showers heading into Saturday evening as a cold front makes its way east. But then there's also high pressure offshore that's going to try to kind of weaken that front out and take away a lot of the moisture with it. So rain for the most part is looking on the light side. This model barely showing anything, maybe just a few hundredths of an inch. Others leaning toward more of a soaking, and that would be more towards Sunday afternoon. So there's a couple different scenarios right now. Either way, I would prepare for some showers over the weekend, but not a total washout. Again, it is going to be on the cooler side, especially Sunday. But of course, we start off the work week, and here comes the warmth back into the 70s pretty much all of next week with a few showers by Wednesday and Thursday. Chris and Abby.